Have you ever heard a sound in the woods that you just couldn't explain? A whisper on the wind, a snap of a twig just out of sight? For most of us, it's just our imagination. But for one camper, it might have been the last thing he ever heard. Today, we re-diving into a chilling mystery that has baffled investigators and haunted the internet for years. The final audio recording of a camper who vanished without a trace. Our story begins with an experienced hiker named Ethan, who decided to spend a week solo, camping deep in the remote backcountry of the Sierra Nevada mountains. He was well equipped, knew the area, and had told friends his exact route. He was expected back on a Sunday. When he didn't show up, his family reported him missing. Search and rescue teams were deployed immediately, combing the vast, rugged wilderness. For days, they found nothing. No footprints, no broken branches, no signs of a struggle. It was as if Ethan had simply evaporated into thin air. Then, a week into the search, a breakthrough. A fellow hiker, who had been in a different part of the forest, found a small, weatherproof bag snagged on a low-hanging branch, miles off Ethan's planned trail. Inside was a digital audio recorder. When authorities checked the device, they realized it belonged to Ethan. He was known for documenting his trips, recording the sounds of nature, and keeping an audio diary. What they heard on that device turned a standard missing person case into a deeply unsettling enigma. The first few days of recordings were exactly what you'd expect. The cheerful chirping of birds, the rustle of leaves, and Ethan's own voice, filled with excitement. He described the beauty of the landscape, the clear, starry nights, and the profound sense of peace he felt being alone in nature. He sounded happy, relaxed, and completely in his element. There was absolutely no hint of distress or concern. But then, on the recording dated the third night, everything changed. The recording starts normally. You can hear the crackle of a campfire and the gentle hum of insects. Then Ethan's voice cuts in, but it's different. It's a hushed whisper, laced with confusion. He says, "There's someone out there, or something. I keep hearing voices." He describes hearing faint, melodic sounds, almost like singing, but with no discernible words. He tried to convince himself it was just the wind whistling through the trees or an animal call he didn't recognize. But the sounds were persistent, seeming to circle his campsite from a distance. He tried to record the sounds, holding the device up to the darkness. When you listen closely, you can just barely make out a high-pitched, ethereal hum beneath the ambient noise of the forest. It's a sound that doesn't seem to belong there. It's not an animal, and it's not human. It's something else. Ethan himself sounds unnerved, whispering that the sound seems to be getting closer, then farther away, playing a strange game of hide-and-seek in the shadows. He ends the recording by saying he's going to try and get some sleep, hoping it's all just his mind playing tricks on him in the isolation. The next day's recording, day 4, is even more disturbing. Ethan's voice is strained, filled with a growing sense of dread. The pleasant, nature-loving hiker is gone, replaced by a man who sounds genuinely terrified. He says the voices came back the previous night, louder this time. He describes them as a chorus of whispers, overlapping and indistinct, like a crowd of people murmuring just beyond the light of his fire. He shouted out, asking who was there, but the only reply was the echoing of his own voice, and then silence. The whispering stopped the moment he called out. He spent the rest of the night huddled in his tent, listening. He didn't sleep. In the morning, he found something strange. Around his campsite, in a perfect circle about 50 feet out, the leaves and pine needles on the ground were disturbed, as if something, or many things, had been walking in a precise circular path all night. But there were no footprints. No animal tracks, no boot prints. Just a strange circular impression in the forest floor. He says on the recording, his voice trembling, "It doesn't make sense. It's like they were floating. Who walks in circles around a stranger's tent all night?" By this point, Ethan was clearly on edge. He decided to pack up and hike out a day early. He wasn't going to wait to find out what was making those sounds. This is where the story takes its final terrifying turn. The last audio file is only a few minutes long. It's not from his campsite. It's from later that day, while he's hiking. You can hear his heavy breathing, the crunch of his boots on the trail. He's moving fast. Suddenly, he stops. The sound of his breathing gets heavier, panicked. He whispers into the recorder, "They're here. I can hear them, all around me." Then, the sound that has haunted everyone who's heard it. The whispers start again. But this time, they aren't in the distance. They are close, very close. They sound like they are right next to the microphone. It's a cacophony of overlapping, sibilant whispers. You still can't make out any words, but the tone is chillingly clear. It's not friendly. Ethan lets out a choked gasp. You hear the sound of him scrambling, running. Twigs snap, leaves are crushed underfoot. He's running for his life. The whispering sound seems to follow him, keeping pace. It doesn't get louder or quieter. It just stays with him. Then Ethan yells. It's a raw, terrified scream. "What do you want? Leave me alone." The whispering stops. There is a moment of complete, deafening silence. And then a single clear voice speaks directly into the recorder. It's not Ethan's voice. It's a calm, eerily neutral voice. And it says just one thing. You are not supposed to be here. The recording cuts off abruptly. And that's it. That's the last anyone ever heard from Ethan. Search parties scoured the area where the recorder was found, but there was nothing. No sign of a struggle, no blood, no discarded gear. His tent and supplies were found neatly packed at his original campsite, just as he said he'd left them. He had simply vanished on the trail. So, what happened to Ethan? What were those voices he heard? Explanations have ranged from the mundane to the supernatural. Skeptics suggest he may have suffered a psychological break due to the isolation, hallucinating the voices. Perhaps he encountered another person in the woods, a hermit or someone with ill intent, and the audio was staged before he was harmed. Others point to more esoteric theories. Was it some kind of unknown natural phenomenon, like infrasound, which can cause feelings of paranoia and auditory hallucinations? And then there are the more chilling possibilities. Local legends in many mountainous regions speak of strange beings that inhabit the deep woods, spirits of the forest that are hostile to intruders. Some have compared the whispers to accounts of mythical creatures, while others believe Ethan stumbled upon something not of this world. The clarity of that final voice on the recording is what stumps everyone. It's too clear, too calm to be a hallucination. It sounds real. The case of Ethan, the missing camper, remains open. The audio file has been analyzed by experts, but no one has been able to definitively identify the source of the sounds. It serves as a terrifying reminder that there are still vast, unexplored corners of our world, and we may not always be welcome in them. Sometimes, the most frightening stories are the ones that have no ending, the ones that leave us with nothing but a lingering, unanswerable question. What was out there in the forest with Ethan? And where did it take him? This story is a powerful testament to the mysteries that lie just beyond our understanding. It makes you think twice about the sounds you hear in the wild. Let me know in the comments what you think happened. Do you have a rational explanation, or do you think something more mysterious was at play? If you have your own unexplained stories from the outdoors, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown.